Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Sal Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's having a fantastic Friday. It's Friday again. Sunday, Monday, what? You know what? We're buzzing. It is the weekend. It is match day tomorrow. We didn't have to wait too long, did we? It is match day tomorrow, guys. Absolutely buzzing. Can't wait for it. Man United against Nottingham Forest this weekend. Should be a nice, easy win, right? Should be a nice, easy win for Manchester United, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new and smash a like on the video. If you can do that, guys, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Now, let's dive straight into it in regards to Manchester United. Manchester United have reignited their interest in Lecce's left-back, Patrick Dorgu. Patrick Dorgu is a player I've been speaking about quite a lot recently. Not recently, during the summer, I spoke a lot about Patrick Dorgu coming to Manchester United. Back then, I felt that we needed a left back. We needed a left back desperately. I was screaming out for a left back. I was like, come on, where's the left back? Do you know what I mean? And now it seems like, you know what? I was right, wasn't I, that we do need a left back? I mean, many of us were crying out for a left back, of course. Many of us saying that, you know what, we need it. And obviously now we're struggling on that side, ain't we? Patrick Dorgu is a 20-year-old Danish international who plays for Lecce. Good player, and is one of the players that are on Ineos's wish list. Ineos's wish list still exists, of course, and it still has the same players. A number of those players that are on that list are the players from last summer. So don't be surprised if Manchester United target players that they were targeting last summer and they didn't quite get round to it, so to speak. So Patrick Dorgu is a player that I spoke about in the summer, of course. You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. In the summer. And he could be a Manchester United player by next season. Now, Manchester United are desperate for left-sided enforcements. They realise that a lot of players are going to be leaving the football club very, very soon, guys. Very soon. And lots of players, their contracts are going to expire. Whether their contracts expire, whether they're going to leave the club, they're going to be sold. You know what? Man United need to reinforce themselves in the transfer market and get some players through the door, of course. And you know what? A left-sided player is a must. And it seems like, you know what? We've been saying this for ages, that we haven't signed a proper left-back. Luke Shaw, with his continuation of injuries, we cannot cope with that, can we? We cannot keep relying on players like Luke Shaw, like Tyron Malacia to get fit. You know what I mean? To get fit. At the end of the day, we're Manchester United, we're a football club, not an A&E, not a psychiatric ward. You know what I mean? We can't be a charity at the end of the day. Patrick Dorgu is a consistent player, plays on Lecce, of course, got caps for Denmark, got 13 appearances this season and 3 goals from the left-back position, guys. So a very, very interesting scenario could be emerging from that transfer situation, of course, guys, going forward. That could happen. Next season. That could happen next season. But don't be surprised if Man United do look for reinforcements in January. In January, Man United could be making moves for players with loans of obligations to buy, etc., guys. So, you know, don't be surprised if Man United do make a number of moves. In January and the summer. Now, obviously, what happens in January depends on what Man United do this season. Depending what they do by next month. Obviously, January is next month. We haven't got long. So it depends how this month goes. Man United have a number of difficult games coming up, of course, with the likes of Arsenal away, Man City away, of course, guys. Tottenham away in the Cup as well. So Man United got a lot of games to come up, really difficult games that could be emerging, of course, going forward. So at the end of the day, look, you know what? Fingers crossed, things go well. But one thing is for certain, that this team that we have right now will look completely different this time next season. I'm pretty certain about that the team will look pretty different this time next season. A lot of those players won't be at the football club. Now, speaking of won't be at the football club, Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford has been criticised heavily by Manchester United legend Roy Keane. Roy Keane took a swipe at Marcus Rashford after Manchester United's 2-0 loss to Arsenal. He is quoted as saying, basically, I'll tell you something. Marcus Rashford, come on there. His general play as a footballer is shocking. So basically, Marcus Rashford came on as a substitute and didn't impress at all. He said, watch the header there. Have United subs given anything since coming on? Nothing. The subs have done nothing. Manchester United deserve nothing now. They were rubbish. You know what happens with United? They fool you. They fool you. They're not dynamic. So basically, a big, huge swipe at Marcus Rashford there, saying that he's not dynamic, saying that he's got, you know what, he's given nothing. And you know what? It's something we've been echoing. Let's be honest, guys. Over the last few months, years, so to speak, it's something we've been echoing in regards to Marcus Rashford, isn't it? I mean, is Marcus Rashford the right guy for Manchester United? That's what we have to understand. Is he the right player for Man United going forward? He's 27 years old now. And can we keep relying on Marcus Rashford? Can we keep doing this to ourselves that he's going to eventually turn it on when he wants to turn it on? And as I've always said, no one should need extra motivation to play for the football club. Man United is a fantastic football club full of history, adversity, you know, and these players should be honored to play for this great football club, of course, guys. But at the end of the day, what I'm going to say is this, right? I think basically Roy Keane has every right to say what he is. Roy Keane, at the end of the day, was a former Man United player and a legend at Man United, of course. So, I mean, I'm going to listen to what Roy Keane has to say. I'm going to listen to his what he wants to say, because at the end of the day, Roy Keane has done it, prove it, done it, won the T-shirt, whatever you want. He's done it at Manchester United. So I'm not going to criticize what Roy Keane says. I just say that, you know what, the truth hurts sometimes, doesn't it? The truth hurts sometimes. And at the end of the day, Marcus Rashford has to pick it up, doesn't he? He has to pick it up. And despite the criticism, and I know that I don't like players getting like heavily victimized, but his performances haven't been good. And look, you know what? It's not the only one. He's not the only one. There are a number of players on that Manchester United team that have not done good, are not good enough, right? But we look at Marcus Rashford and we look at him and we say, Marcus Rashford is the older man. He's 27. He's played a lot of games for Man United. He's earning 350 grand a week. So to be honest with you, look, I don't blame people for criticizing him. I'll criticize him myself. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you know what, we expect more from our players. And when you come as a substitute, it seems to me that a number of those players are not fighting for the badge. They're actually sulking. They're sulking. Instead of proving the manager wrong, I should be playing. I'm the guy. I should be playing. Because Ruben Amorim's a new manager. This is an audition. This is a test. This is a trial for a lot of these players. And these players need to prove to Ruben Amorim that they are the people to take Man United forward. Now, look, Marcus Rashford's been at the football club for 11 years. 11 years he's been at this football club, you know. And in my opinion, personally, I think he's regressed from when he made his debut all those years ago. I think he's regressed, guys. I really do. And to be honest with you, I don't feel any joy about that. I don't feel happy about that, because I was very excited when Marcus Rashford broke through the team. I was very excited when he made his debut. I was ecstatic, to be honest. And you know what? Because I believe in the youth team. I believe in the youth players. I believe the youth team are the future of Manchester United. Youth, courage, success, etc., etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? So one thing I would say is that Marcus Rashford needs to pick it up. And Roy Keane has every right in regards to making these comments known, making these comments clear in regards to him. Because we all have these frustrations. We're all watching the game. We have these frustrations. And he's not the only one. There's many players in that football team, you know what I mean, that are flattered to deceive, annoy you, so to speak. They, you know, and that's the problem. You know what I mean? That's the problem. And to be honest with you, we can't keep supporting something that doesn't give back. Help us to help you. Help us to help you. That's what it's all about. Us helping you, because you got to help us to help you. You got to make us believe in you. We can't make yourself believe in yourself. You have to make you have to make us believe in you. And by doing that is by performing on the football pitch, guys. Perform on the football pitch and do the business on the pitch, guys. Now, news in regards to Alphonso Davies. Of course, this is a name that has been scattering around for the last few weeks. Manchester United are desperate to hold talks with Alphonso Davies' agent to get a deal wrapped up for the 23-year-old. Of course, Alphonso Davies is in talks with Bayern Munich over a new contract, but the contract is deemed to be way, way short of the mark. This has given Manchester United an opportunity to go up there and get their man. Obviously, Alphonso Davies will be a free transfer in 2025 and will save Man United a lot of money if they manage to get this player, of course. Left back, left wing back, a big upgrade, of course, in regards to that side. People are talking about Alvaro Fernandez, but at the end of the day, Alvaro Fernandez, I don't think he's that step. He's not an Alvaro Fernandez. He's not an Alphonso Davies. He's not an Alphonso Davies. Alphonso Davies is a generational talent, regardless what people say, and probably the best person to suit Ruben Amorim's tactics, of course. Big up, Blazing. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Hope everything is cool with you. Hope everyone is good. Hope everyone is cool. Absolutely. So, guys, yeah, Alphonso Davies, you know what? High on Manchester United's radar, left wing back would be fantastic for Man United. Now, look, imagine this scenario. Imagine Man United got Alphonso Davies and got a Frimpong. Can you imagine that? I think Liverpool also interested. Yeah, we have to act quickly, Blazing. Absolutely. There are other teams that are interested in Alphonso Davies. Liverpool, Chelsea are interested. But one thing I trust about this new Manchester United ownership and boardrooms, backroom staff is that we spent a lot of money on this backroom staff. Omar Barada, Wilcox, of course, obviously Vavel, we've got in there as well. Ashwood, we got in there. We spent a lot of money in assembling this team. So I believe that they have the ability. To make this deal happen. I think we can become a more attractive proposition than Liverpool. I know it might sound delusional. I know some people say, don't be delusional, Sal. But I believe that. I believe that could happen, of course, guys. Big up, Pearl. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good afternoon, guys. My car battery died at the petrol station. Go call it. Change easily. Oh, it's well again. Big up, Pearl. Congratulations on your car. Hope you're good. Good to see you back, Pearl. Good to see you back. So, yeah, Alphonso Davies, I mean, that will represent a very significant signing for Manchester United. If Man United managed to get the player ahead of Bayern Munich, ahead of Real Madrid, ahead of Liverpool, wouldn't that be a sign of progression? Now, look, the most important thing for Man United is progression on the pitch. We know that Man United need to progress on the pitch. We've regressed over the last, obviously, season. We haven't done good, of course, guys. So, at the end of the day, look, not in the Forest or tomorrow evening. I'm doing a watch along, by the way, guys. I'll be live for the watch along, of course, guys. Don't forget, I'll be live at 5:30. I'll be live at 5 o'clock p.m. UK time, guys. 5 o'clock p.m. UK time. Now, a left back is a high priority for Manchester United. So we're talking about, obviously, Keenan. Obviously, we're talking about Patrick Dorgu. We're talking about Alphonso Davies. These type of left backs that are natural left backs. Now, they're not only left backs, they're young as well. They're young players that can improve under the guidance of Ruben Amorim. And this, for me, signifies a different era for Manchester United. This is why I doubted the deal for Heung-min Son yesterday, because I don't think Man United are going to go after any player that's over the age of 26. Over the age of 26, Man United are not going to sign any of those players. Man United are going to go below that. So you're looking at 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds, those type of players. You know what I mean? Those young players, of course. Big up, Brian. How you doing, you legend? Good to have you back, my friend. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you. So, Alphonso Davies, obviously, is a name. And, of course, Patrick Dorgu. We have got Harry Amas as well coming through the ranks as well. So, we cannot forget about that. But Man United look likely to sign a left back, whether in January. Man United could do a deal for a left back in January. Just because we do a deal for a left back in January doesn't mean the player will sign straight away. He could sign by the end of the season, start of next season. So obviously we could do a deal with an obligation at the end of the season. So at the end of the day, Man United could even do a loan deal for a left back or defender, depending how things go by January. By the looks of things, Luke Shaw is not going to be ready. Tyrone Malacia is getting fit, but is he the right fit for Manchester United going forward? Are these players good enough to take Man United forward in that position and move us up the league and win the Europa League? Because ultimately, that's what we need to do. More realistically, we have to win the Europa League, don't we? We have to win the Europa League because the league is looking a little bit bleak at the moment, of course. Still can't get back-to-back wins in the Premier League. Man United can't do that. No, absolutely, Brian. And the problem is Man United, it's a character thing. You know what? Arsenal was always going to be a difficult game. No matter what generation we're in, Arsenal was always a difficult game. And after half-time happened, I should have known that the character would drop, the belief dropped, the mentality, again, you know what I mean, came into question. And at the end of the day, look, we lost the game. We had some good things in the game that I was happy with, but many bad things in the game that I was unhappy with. Roy Keane basically named those things, slatering Marcus Rashford, of course. A big blow to Marcus Rashford, of course, being criticised by a legend like Roy Keane, saying that he was not ready for the game, you know, he's not good enough, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know what? I don't disagree with Roy Keane. I respect Roy Keane because Roy Keane's been there, done it, seen it, worn the T-shirt. I would love to have a Roy Keane character back at Man United. I would love to have Roy Keane back at Man United. I would love to have him just lay the law down on some of those players, to be honest. If I'm being honest with you guys, I would love that, to be honest. I would love him to, because we need that sort of character. We need that guy who's gonna slaughter those players and tell them, well, one, do you know what I mean? Absolutely. 5K subs, come on, let's get to 5K subs, guys. Thank you so much, Blazing. Let's go. Apollo, RP, your battery low. Absolutely, RP, your battery. It happens to the best of us, of course, guys. It happens to the best of us. Another player that Manchester United have desperately been yearning for, however you say it. It's yearning for. Manchester United are yearning for Kenan Yildiz. Now, Kenan Yildiz is a Juventus player, Turkish international. He signed a new contract in the summer, so he is contracted until 2028-29. Juventus are desperate to keep the 19-year-old at the club, as he's been fantastic this season. But Manchester United are desperate also to grab the player from the midst of Juventus, offering a substantial amount of money. Now, a 19-year-old, extremely talented player, of course, guys, is Yildiz. I've been speaking about Yildiz in the summer, of course, another player that was on the conveyor belt of names that are on that wish list, that transfer list, of course, another conveyor belt of names. But Kenan Yildiz is reluctant to stay at Juventus due to the interest from Manchester United. It is apparent that Yildiz is a Manchester United fan, and the agent has spoke about avenues that Man United could go down to sign Kenan Yildiz, the Turkish international. Now, what do you think about this, guys? I mean, a very, very good player. Forward, of course, versatile, can play all around that forward line, but it will cost a bit of money. Obviously, his contract runs out in 2028-29 season, so obviously it's going to cost a little bit of money there, but it's not impossible. And the interest from Manchester United has turned the head of Kenan Yildiz. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But Manchester United are interested in Kenan Yildiz. Kenan Yildiz has given a hint that he wants to go to Manchester United in regards to his agent, talking to the club about a possible move away from Juventus, of course. Blazing, I'm more mad at the fact that Arsenal made history by beating us 4 times in a row, man, in the Premier League. That means we're on a serious pressure to get them back in the FA Cup. We're on serious pressure, mate. You know what? I remember Man United were beating Arsenal by 4 goals, 5 games in a row, 6 games in a row. I remember those days where I remember a time when Man United didn't even concede a goal at Old Trafford against Arsenal. I remember those days when they didn't even concede a goal against Arsenal at Old Trafford. Nowadays, we're being beaten for fun, and this cannot happen anymore. We cannot keep losing to our major rivals. We cannot keep losing to Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea. We can't keep doing these things now. We need to start winning these games, these big games that mean a lot to the fans, of course. There's a lot of rivalry with Arsenal. I turned off my social media. I wasn't interested in Arsenal. I thought, you know what? I'm out there. Thank God the game kicked off at 12 a.m. So I went straight to bed after the game, and I didn't get to see the barrage of social media at me, of course, guys, because you know what I'm like with Arsenal. I can't stand Arsenal, guys. I can't stand them. They drive me mad. It's not so much the Arsenal Football Club. It's more to do with the fans. The fans, they're just too much for me, in my opinion. Absolutely. How you doing, Uncle Son? Good to see you, Uncle Son Sharif. Hope you agree Rashford is yet to improve. He is yet to improve. In fact, he's declined, hasn't he, Uncle Son? He's declined. And you know what? There's nothing I want more than Marcus Rashford to go out there and score goals and improve. And, you know, because we need a player like that. But at the end of the day, we can't keep hoping that he's going to turn it on when he feels like it. You know what I mean? When he didn't get out of the bed the wrong side. Do you know what I mean? He needs to start playing for that badge, that great club, Manchester United. You've got an opportunity here in your life to play for the biggest club in the world, Manchester United. And you know what? You're down tooling. You're not running. You're not fighting. And that's the problem. You know what I mean? You're not fighting for that badge. I didn't see anything against Arsenal. Nothing. Roy Keane's absolutely spot on. Roy Keane's spot on. What did those substitutes do when they came on? If it was me, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to show Ruben Amorim and that guy. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to get us back into the game. But lo and behold, he didn't do nothing in the game. In fact, he ruined the game for us. In theory, it got worse, didn't it, at the end of the day? Spurs and Brighton lost. Big up Spurs. Absolutely. What's it? Postecoglou. Postecoglou. Did you see the fallout between the fans and Postecoglou? Did you see that? Did you see the fallout between them? Absolutely. Spurs fans were not happy. They're not happy. They are fuming. But Spurs will be Spursy. Spurs lose games. Brighton are not surprised about. Brighton have done very well this season. But you know what? It's opening up the path for that dreadful thing, which is Liverpool winning the title. That is horrible to even think about. It fills me with anxiety, fills me with dread that they could possibly equal our Premier League tally. That is not what I want to hear, man. That's not what I hear. Big up, Sanjay. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Big up, Randy. Well, good morning. Hope you're doing well, Randy. How you feeling, mate? Hope you're doing good. I think Rashford already hit his ceiling. He won't get any better. I agree, Sanjay. Absolutely. I think he's hit his ceiling and he's slowly going down and down. Well, I think he's going down, like plummeting down. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. I mean, he's slowly declining, quickly declining. This season, he's been absolutely dreadful, guys, as he was last season and part of the season before. How long is it before we start saying, do you know what? Bygones be bygones. Let's let Rashford sign for a football club. Let him know that he's surpassed the requirements and he needs to move on. Why don't we do that now? Of course, guys. United back into 30th. Oh, Brian, don't do this to me, bro. Don't do this to me. Okasan, I knew United would come better when we have the right players. I agree, Okasan. And it is all about patience because you know what? Ruben Amorim took charge of a team. We all know what that team is about. Ruben Amorim had to take charge of a backlog of players from the other managers, of course. Some players have been there for 10 years under Louis van Gaal, under Jose Mourinho, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They're used to failure. We need to bring in a new culture at the football club. And all those players that have been there since 2015 odd, 14, they need to be out the football club, in my opinion. Absolutely. Good morning, Paul. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Out of the three, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, which one would you prefer to win the Premier apart from Chelsea? I'll be honest, I can't tolerate Arsenal to win. I think Chelsea, mate. I think Premier League, I want Chelsea, mate. Chelsea all day long, absolutely, without hesitation. Because I'll tell you why. I've never had a problem with a Chelsea fan. Never. Right. We had the bickery debates here and there, being raised in London, but I've never really had a proper rivalry with Chelsea. Right. I actually don't mind Chelsea. And the reason I don't mind Chelsea is because, you know what, we've had a good rivalry over the last 20 years. And I think they've actually got trophies to prove, to back up their words. Arsenal are delusional, right? Liverpool are our greatest ever rivals. Man City, another one. I mean, Man City, I don't want them to do 5 in a row. They've already done 4 in a row. For goodness sake, I don't want them to do 5 in a row. It just annoys me that we put ourselves in such a position that we're not challenging for the league. And Man United should be challenging for this title, of course. Do you know what I mean? Man United need to challenge for the title. Man United can't keep being in the doldrums and being like, I hope they win. It's true, isn't it, Paul? You know, I just hope that Man United win the league one day. You know what I mean? But if I was going to choose, Paul, I would choose Chelsea all day long. Salam alaikum salam, Liza Rami. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. I don't hate any United players. I'm disappointed in many, and many are not United players. Rashford will get thanks for service and good luck, son. Liza Rami, fantastic comment. It's not about hate. It's about the football club. We don't hate any of those players because we want all those players to succeed. We like all those players, and we would love them to succeed. I would love Rashford to go out tomorrow and score a hat-trick. But then again, when I look at Rashford, it's not the Nottingham Forests of this world. It's not Everton. It's not Southampton. It's when we play the Arsenals, the Man Cities, you know, the Tottenhams, that these players flatter to deceive. I want these players to prove me wrong. Go out there against a big club and do it consistently. That's what I want to see them do. I'm tired of them getting on the pitch, walking around. You know what? It's Arsenal. We could take a loss in this game. We're playing like a bloody lower half of the table. Well, we are a lower half of the table team, ain't we? But we're playing like it. Do you know what I mean? Our mentality is like it. We can lose this game. Anything extra on this game is a bonus, etc., etc., etc. We need to move up that table. We need to move up that table, and we need to start beating the teams that are laughing at us, are bantering us week in, week out. That starts with Nottingham Forest tomorrow. We got Pilsen and we got Man City. The big game is against Man City. I want to see us absolutely put Man City to the sword. Man City haven't been great this season. I don't want us to play Man City. I want to play this Man City. The Man City of today. The Man City in the Premier League now. I want us to play. That are capable of losing 4-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. You know, Tottenham Hotspur, who lost to Bournemouth last night. Do you know what I mean? At Ipswich at home. Big up, Kenny. How you doing, my friend? Good afternoon. We are back to the second page of the Premier League. I couldn't help but love. Oh, mate, you know what? It's driving me mad. I have to scroll down again to the second page of the Premier League. Honestly, you know what? I mean, when I was being raised supporting Man United, you know what? When I used to turn on the league table, the Premier League, I used to be all smug. I used to be like this, and I think, look at the table, Man United, top of the league. You know what I mean? Number 2, number 3. something like that. I used to be like that, you know what I mean? I used to be very giddy. I took that for granted, guys, because now I'm like, whoop, 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 and then there we are in all our glory, guys, on the actual bloody second page of the Premier League table. Drives me mad, of course. Chelsea for me as well, blazing. I hope Chelsea do a mad thing and win the league. I hope so. I hope a shock happens. I hope something happens. I don't want Arsenal. I don't want Liverpool. I don't want City. For crying out loud, please. You know what I mean? Chelsea have to save football. I mean, Chelsea fans are unbearable, man. They were glazing. I know, Kenny, but it's like basically the best of evils, basically. It's the best. It's like between Skeletor. You're choosing between Skeletor, Kerrang. Who else you choosing between? M. Bison. You know what I mean? You're choosing between all these villains. You know what I mean? And you say, which one is the best one? Which one is the best one? Do you know what I mean? Which one? You know what I mean? Octopus Man. You know what I mean? Who is it? You know, which one could we say is the best one? That is not going to give us as much grief, you know, if they win the title. I mean, Chelsea are probably lowest. I would rather the Cheats win again. Would you, Brian? Bloody hell. 5th time in a row. You would like that. I suppose they haven't got any fans. They haven't got no fans. You got no fans. You want some? You got no fans? Yeah, and they got no fans, so that wouldn't be a problem, of course, guys. So obviously, the fact that they would have won the league 5 times in a row, we're looking like Booker T, or was it John Cena? Say, we don't want that. We don't want that, guys. I don't want to give them any ideas. Do you know what I mean? We don't want none of that, guys. Absolutely not. We don't want any 5 times Booker T. You know what I mean? We don't want any of that, guys. We don't want Man City winning the league for the 5th time in a row. And God blimey, we don't want Liverpool equaling our tally of Premier League titles. That cannot happen. But why have Man United made this happen? Because it is Man United at the end of the day that have made this happen. We blame ourselves for that. We've let these teams into it. We've let them in. We were the dominant team in English football. And now look how far we've fallen. Thank you to the Glazers, of course, guys. Thank you very much, the Glazers, of course, guys. Thank you very much. It is their fault. This is why we have to move from a fantastic stadium, Old Trafford, because of them, because of the way they declined. They've neglected our stadium. They've neglected our infrastructure, of course. Blazing, we don't care about Sancho. Chelsea fans just think about bothers us is that with them that now they rather Chelsea win the league over Liverpool, Arsenal any day. I mean, I would, Blazing. And it depends on personal experience, Blazing. You know what? When I was raised in London, Arsenal fans were the most unbearable fans. Then it was Liverpool fans. And for me, I remember when we were winning everything in the 90s, Man United win double doubles and stuff like that. And then when it got to 97, 98, Arsenal won the league. Man United let it drop. Man United had a number of injuries and Arsenal ended up winning the league. In my opinion, the best Arsenal team in Premier League history. The best Arsenal team in Premier League history, in my opinion. And when they won the league, they were giving it. They were giving it large. Let's bear in mind, right? When Man United were winning everything in the 90s, I was incredibly humble. I weren't giving it. I weren't forcing it down their throat. I was incredibly humble. But when Arsenal won the league in 97, 98, the league and cup double, my goodness me, by 1 point, by the way, my goodness me, they were unbearable, guys, absolutely unbearable. And they went on and Ariston and on and on. It was absolutely unbearable, guys. I still hold those feelings in my heart because, again, if we forget about then, let's go back to the more recent past, right? Let's go to when we lost to Barcelona twice in the Champions League. The only fans that were talking on Twitter at the time were Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans. It actually, I remember it to this day, there was a Juventus fan, or I think it was a Juventus fan. They said, why are you talking to Man United fans? At least they got to the final. At least they've won the competition. Other teams were backing us up because of the way Arsenal fans were. They're unbearable. Lies around me. We need United players to perform 7 out of 10 every game. That should be minimum like Imagery every game consistent. Absolutely, lies around me. Thank you very much. Very good comment. At the moment, we're getting 6s and 5s. 6s and 5s. Too many 6s and 5s. Not enough 7s and 8s. I mean, you don't have to get 8 and 9s. You don't have to do that, but you have to get at least 7 per game. 7 per game is consistent. As you said, Mazrui is getting 7 per game. Minimum. In my opinion, he's getting 8 sometimes. He's getting 8s. He's playing in different positions. He played number 10. He's played right back, left back, centre back. That guy does it all, guys. He deserves a round of bloody applause, that guy. He should be at the moment, I'm telling you right now, Mazrui is our player of the season. He's our player of the season. I think he's one of the Premier League's player of the season. I think if Man United go on to win the Europa League and Man United end up going up the league and become 5th or 4th or something like that, Man United, he should be our player of the season. 100% our player of the season. At the moment, no one competes with him because he's consistent. He's always available. You know what I mean? He's not down tooling. Do you know what I mean? Liza Van me, Sancho on loan at Chelsea. That means he's going to be back at United. Do you think Ruben will keep him? I'm not sure. He won't be back at United because it's an obligation to buy Liza Van me. So if Chelsea finish above 14th, Sancho has to sign for Chelsea. He won't come back to Man United. So basically, if Chelsea finish below 14th, he will go back to Man United. That's the stipulation in the contract. If he finishes above 14th, Chelsea are obligated to buy him. So they have to buy him. They have to buy him. He's not going to come back to Man United. Basically, Chelsea are second. They're not going to come 14th, are you? So they are obligated to buy Jadon Sancho. So they have to pay the money for Jadon Sancho, of course, guys. Which is obviously good for us. We don't want him back. I don't want him back. So that is a good thing, of course, guys. I'm glad he's going to be leaving the club after what he did last season, regardless of what you think about Erik ten Hag. It was absolutely disgraceful what he did last season, throwing his rattles out of his pram, crying like a little baby, writing that tweet and leave it on the Twitter page for about 2 weeks, which was absolutely disgraceful in my opinion. Not a Man United player, in my opinion. Fouled under various managers, not only Erik ten Hag, crybaby, of course. Sancho, who? Absolutely. Sancho. Nicho Sancho, is it? El Matador. Big up, Brian. Big up. Yeah, Sancho, that's basically what it is right now. So Sancho won't be a Man United player next season. You can bet yourself on that. If Sancho's a Man United player next season, I will shave off my hair. All right? Live on stream. If Sancho is a player next season, I don't think he's going to be a Man United player next season. Chelsea are second at the moment. They're doing incredibly well. I don't think they're going to finish below. I don't think they finish below the top 4, in my opinion, which is bad for Man United because Man United do need to finish in that top 4, which I don't think we're going to finish this season, of course, guys. Unfortunately, sadly, as it is, guys. Another wasted season, but you know what? We hope that we are ready by next season. The good thing about Ruben Amorim coming in now is that he could separate the bad apples from the good apples, right? And he can get rid of those players by the start of next season. So by the start of next season, Man United could be in a good place. Could be in a good place and could be ready to challenge. Who knows, guys? Omar Barada did say 2028. I actually think it's going to be before that. I actually think you can quote this, cut this, whatever you want to do. I actually feel that Man United will challenge for the title very, very soon. Sooner than Omar Barada was saying. Sooner than Omar Barada was saying. I really do believe that. I believe Man United will be champions very soon by 2028. Absolutely. And you know how beautiful that's going to be? I hope you guys are here with me to witness it. We're going to be absolutely buzzing. We'll be on this stream celebrating like it's 1999. I mean, boy, did I celebrate in 1999. My goodness me, what a time to be alive. I remember like it was yesterday, man. I mean, I don't want to go into that, but I think apart from the set pieces, we did a good job. I think that the game against Arsenal would have given United players a bit of a boost that they listen to Ruben get the league, them up the league. Absolutely, Laz Rami, there were a number of positives in that game, especially in the first half. The only issue I'm having is our potentness, our effectiveness up front. We're not scary enough up front. We don't do enough up front. We're not creative enough. And that is the whole front line. That's not just one player. That's the whole front line, right? Including Bruno, of course. I don't think these players have been good enough up front. We're not scoring enough goals, which is the reason we came minus goal difference last season. We're just about in the plus now. I mean, for a brief period, we had a better goal difference than Man City, would you believe? A brief period until we played Arsenal. Now they have got better goal difference. We have a +2. They have a +3 now. We had a +4, didn't we? Then, but now we've got a +2. So they're above us again. We need to score more goals. We need to create more. We need to be ruthless. We need to be scary, intimidating. You know what? That's what we need to do. And it starts tomorrow against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest are not on form, although they cannot be written off because where they are in the league is no fluke. They are a decent side, a decent outfit, decent manager. They got Alanga, of course, guys. They got one of the players I truly like. I really like, and I thought Man United should have went for him a long time ago, which is Sangare. Sangare from PSV. And he's a defensive midfielder. I thought Man United should have went after him a long time ago, and he plays for them. So they got some good players. Obviously, Wood is a good player up front. He's another one. You know, so we're going to have to be careful of their effectiveness. So later on today, I'll be doing my live preview of the Nottingham Forest game, guys, at 2 p.m. UK time. Don't forget that, of course, guys. And we'll be running through everything and the press conferences and everything like that on top, of course, in that game. In that preview, of course, guys. So, you know what? It is a massive game tomorrow. And I dare I say it, guys, it's a must win. A must win. Man United must win the game. There's no excuses now. Man United must beat Nottingham Forest tomorrow. We cannot. All right, look, we can lose the games against Arsenal, against City, against Tottenham. I hope we don't. But the games against the likes of Pilsen and Nottingham Forest, these are games we should be absolutely sweeping the floor with them. And you know what? Big games coming up for Ruben Amorim. Massive couple of months. Of course, Tottenham, Man City, Arsenal in the cup again, Liverpool away. We got a massive couple of months coming up. And come the end of January, we will know a lot. Time will be in education. We will know everything about this team. You know what I mean? This team, this bunch of players. Are they up for the job? Are they not up for the job? My guess is in 2 months, I'm hoping they're up for the job, but I don't think they're going to be up for the job. I think a number of those players are going to, you know what? Are we going to go to Anfield and get anything? Are we going to go to Tottenham and get anything? Are we going to go to City and get anything? You know what I mean? I hope so, guys. I really do hope so. I got my fingers crossed that we will do, of course, guys. Lies around me. You're right. We need a scariness and strength and Mark Hughes, Katsuki, Instam. That's actually the times when teams used to come out at Old Trafford and already lost the game before they even walked onto the pitch. We're not like that anymore. We're not scary anymore. You know what I mean? People are going, oh, Man United, I'm going to get another one over them. And that's that's the mentality of the teams that are playing against us at the moment. And you know what? We need to delete that. Delete it. That's why when we do eventually move away from Old Trafford, look, I'm not happy that we're moving away from Old Trafford, but when we do eventually move away from Old Trafford, the most important thing for Man United to do is remember this, right? Intimidation, scary. Man United, that's ground, Old Trafford needs to be intimidating. It needs to be scary. We cannot have it accommodating, lovely, first class, Qatar Airways sort of stadium. Do you know what I mean? We need it bloody, scary, and intimidating. That's what we need. We need Man United to be a fear. People need to fear Man United. For God's sake, we're the Red Devils, for goodness sake. You know, the Red Devils, goodness sake, we're not the Red Ponies at the moment. Do you know what I mean? We need to make ourselves more scary, more intimidating. Look, against Arsenal, whatever people say, do you know what? We weren't putting our foot in. We weren't giving a maximum amount of effort. We weren't giving Arsenal something to think about. You know what I mean? We weren't giving Arsenal anything to think about, and that's what disappointed me. Of course. Brian, I know Ruben wants to give every chance, but I feel we need to set offside now. Many changes at the moment. Brian, you're absolutely right, mate. You're absolutely right. He is going to, I mean, he'll probably make a number of changes tomorrow. I mean, the rotation of Højlund and Xerxes, you know what I mean, and Ahmad and Dalot, and you know what I mean, we don't want a rotational manager, guys. We do need a settled team, and I know he wants to see every player. I know he hasn't got much time to do that, but right now he should just pick the best team. And we all know what the best team is, guys. We all know what players should play, and we all know what players shouldn't play. The problem is that some of those players in that football team are undroppable. That is when we get the problem. Some of those players, they're undroppable. There are some players that are happy to be rotated, but some players, for some reason, are undroppable, of course. I hate to say, when Mohamed Salah, a world-class striker, that is Salah is the best player in the world. Liverpool, yeah, he's a generational lights around me. He should have been a Ballon d'Or contender. Should have been a Ballon d'Or winner. In my opinion, I'm honest. You know what I mean? For him not to get the Ballon d'Or, it shows you a lot where FIFA is in regards to their thinking and you know, their biased and their whatever sinister reason they don't give people awards for earning those awards. We all know that Manchester United won the treble in 1999 and none of those players got a Ballon d'Or. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, not like the Scholes of this world, the Keanes, the Schmeichels, you know what I mean? They never got Ballon d'Ors. You know what I mean? Ryan Giggs. It's crazy, isn't it? And that just shows you where they are. You know what I mean? Give it to Messi, because obviously what Messi represents, isn't it? Messi represents their narrative. That's what he is, a picture of who they are, of their narrative, of course. Exactly. That's why Liverpool fans do to make their stadium. Absolutely. A big part of Liverpool's success is Anfield. It's Anfield. When Barcelona were 3-0 up against Liverpool a few years ago, and Liverpool came back to win 4-0, it wasn't because Liverpool had a better team than Barcelona. It's because Anfield. And I've seen Old Trafford be intimidating. I went to the Roma game when we won 7-1. It was one of the most intimidating games I've ever attended. And Roma gave up. Roma was scared. And we're not scary anymore. You know what I mean? Man United, they're not on that anymore. They're more like, you know what, next game, we win, we lose, oh well, we go again. You know what I mean? We're not scary again, not anymore. And Man United do need to be scary again, of course, guys. Kenny, we need a left wing back, striker, winger, CM. We need a lot of players, Kenny. Absolutely. Conveyor belt of players that we need is absolutely amazing what Man United need right now. We need a left back. We need a left side centre back. It looks like Lindelof and Maguire will be leaving the club, including Johnny Evans. So that's 3 defenders out the door. Man United do need to bring in 1 or 2 defenders as well, guys. Hopefully they're left-footed. They do need to bring a couple of defenders in. Man United do need to bring another attacking midfielder in. What do you guys make of Bruno Fernandes? Do you trust Bruno Fernandes? Are you happy with Bruno Fernandes? Do you think we should move on from Bruno Fernandes? Are we being too sentimental to some players? Are we being too sentimental? Do we need to be a little bit more ruthless in regards to players and stop being so, attached to players in regards to that? Even Real Madrid was scared this season in Anfield. Say, so look, yeah, Anfield is a fortress, mate. Anfield is a fortress. Right from the beginning, I mean, and we love to hate it. We hate We Never Walk Alone. We hate that. And the reason we hate You Never Walk Alone is because it's intimidating. It works for them. And you know what? They sing that and the crowd get up, the buzzing and stuff, and it always works for them. We need to find something of our own. You know what I mean? Something that gets us going. I mean, I shouldn't be saying that when you're at Old Trafford. I used to scream my lungs out. When I used to leave Old Trafford, I couldn't speak anymore. Do you know what I mean? I remember going to, I was behind the goal, Stretford end, front row, guys, front row. I used to sit next to a gentleman, right, an elderly gentleman. And every time I'd be screaming, come on, United, come on, United. He would go, could you sit down, please? He would say that. He would say that because at the end of the day, this is the problem. We need to be scary. We need to be intimidating. We need to go out there tomorrow. And not only tomorrow, for the rest of the season, we need to be fans like our away fans. Our away fans are absolutely incredible. The best in the world, in my opinion. We need to have that, implement that with 76,000 at Old Trafford. That's what we need to do. It's true, Old Trafford, the stadium, even now, United score, the crowd don't even celebrate like other teams. Absolutely, they don't. They don't go crazy. We just score, yeah. You know what I mean? We need to go mad. I go mad on this stream, guys. If I was at Old Trafford, I'd be absolutely mad. I'd run on the pitch if I could. I did at the new camp, by the way, Champions League final. Don't forget to watch my membership video in regards to that. My 1999 Champions League final experience. But yeah, we're not intimidating. We're not intimidating. We're not scary enough. And you know what? When we score, it's like, yeah, we scored, hey. And then that's why we let other teams back in the game. It's precisely because of this. Precisely because of we're not intimidating enough. We're not scary enough. This is the problem. That's why true fans are priced out. That's why there's an atmosphere. Yeah. I mean, Man United are pricing out the average Joe. Of course, Man United are pricing out fans now. Basically, season tickets, tickets for the individual games. They're pricing fans, so the real fans at the stadium, which is wrong. When you got people like Marcus Rashford earning 350 grand a week, when you got Maguire earning 180 grand a week. Now, Maguire's not going to stay at Man United because basically Ineos are not going to keep Maguire on 180 grand a week. They're not going to keep him, especially if he's not going to be a first-team player. They will get rid of Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire will no longer be a Manchester United player next season. Man United will lose a number of defenders next season. They will end up losing Evans and then Lindelof most likely. So Man United are going to have to bring in some defenders. Now, look, we can look to the youth. I'm a big fan of Rice Bennett myself. I think he's a fantastic player. I'm a big fan of Harry Amas. As people know, I'm the Harry Amas fan club, of course. So at the end of the day, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But Man United are going to need a lot of reinforcements this summer. I mean, even January, we do need it because at the moment, the way things are going, it's not looking good, bruv. Why is the Scousers can take all their flags to the stadium, but United are not allowed? You know what? Hey, at the end of the day, you're right, Brian. And we have one flag. We have one flag, of course. But Liverpool are allowed whatever they like, isn't it? Even fireworks, they're allowed, isn't it? One rule for one rule for the other, apparently. Do you know what I mean? Everyone should feel sorry for Liverpool. Everyone should bow down to Liverpool. That's the way it is at the moment, isn't it? Our atmosphere has been rubbish lately, maybe because of the fans looked mentally checked out. I mean, a lot of it is, Kenny. Some people are checked out. Some people, Old Trafford is a very, very corporate sort of stadium. When you go to Old Trafford, they're like, you have to sit down, sit down, sit down. You know what I mean? They don't want fans to get up and cheer and celebrate and scream. That's the problem. That's the problem. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Old Trafford should be like, when the team comes out of Old Trafford onto that pitch, the opposition team should be like, wow, my goodness me. They should be like that. At the moment, it's too nice. It's a friendly atmosphere. You know what I mean? Blazing. You are very well spoken, man, with the facts. Man United players should be listening to you and the new manager. Big up, Blazing. You too, brother. Thank you so much for your compliment. I just speak it as it is, mate. How I feel. No sugarcoating anything. This is how I feel in regards to Man United. Man United are not right. Basically, we're an elite club by name at the moment. We need to be an elite club by fans, by everything we do. Everything we do from the start of the game, the pre-game. Everything needs to be designed for Man United to win the football match. Forget about the opportunity. At the moment, we're too accommodating to people. You know what I mean? We had Jamie Redknapp. I think it was Jamie Redknapp, and I've forgotten who the other gentleman was. Jamie Carragher as well. On Old Trafford pitch at halftime, shooting penalties. Shooting penalties. 2 ex-Liverpool players. That should never be allowed, guys. That sort of thing shouldn't be allowed at Old Trafford. We shouldn't let 2 Liverpool players mock it at Old Trafford. Would if you went to Anfield, would they let bloody, let's for argument's sake, say Eric Cantona and Mark Hughes start taking penalties at Anfield at halftime? It would never happen, would it? It wouldn't happen. Not in your life, of course. Kenny, the only time I hear atmosphere is when we beat Barcelona. Yeah. It's so few and far between, isn't it? You can actually remember it. And that's how it is, isn't it? It's so few and far between. I can remember it. You can pick on one hand how many times we've had a really, really intimidating atmosphere at Old Trafford recently in the last thing. I went in the 90s. It was amazing. I remember the Cantona return. I mean, I remember when we drew 2-2 with Liverpool and the Cantona return after the Kung Fu kick, of course, it was absolutely incredible. Incredible. We sucked the ball into the net when Nicky Butt scored that goal, of course. I mean, Nicky Butt scored that goal and the camera went to Cantona, didn't it? Nicky Butt basically said it. He said, I'm the only player in history, when I score a goal, the camera went to another player. Unbelievable. We got bloody awesome youth team. I think Ruben, we're going to make his own team with youth and some of his your own players' emphasis on fitness and passing abilities. I hope so, Liza Rami. You reminded me about the youth team because you know what? Are the youth team going to implement the same formation and tactics as Ruben Amorim? Is it going to go up through the ranks? Are we going to have the same 3-4-2-1? Are we going to have the same tactics all the way through the ranks? Do you think that's going to happen, guys? Loved being in the Stretford end. It was all standing. Brian, you know what? I'm unlucky. At the end, I've never stood at Old Trafford, but I'm a Stretford ender. But that all changed, obviously, in the early 90s, 1992. Man United had no Stretford end at one point. No Stretford end. We actually had no Sir Alex Ferguson stand as well. We had none of that as well. At one point, Man United used to build as we were going on. And this is the excuse people make. Look, you know what? Man United used to build, and we used to still play at Old Trafford. We were rebuilding the Stretford end whilst we were still playing at Old Trafford. And obviously the North Stand. You know, we're building the North Stand as well whilst we were still playing. You know what I mean? Remember those days? Faxal, Never, and Carragher are sellouts. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, but that's Sky Sports, isn't it? Sky Sports is, you know what? They have to feed into the Sky Sports narrative. They have to say what Sky Sports say, do what Sky Sports do. You cannot be too happy about Man United. I mean, a lot of those pundits have had they've got bad history in regards to Man United. Obviously, now we know, and it's been exposed, that Andy Gray and Richard Keys despise Man United, and they used to work on Sky Sports. Now they're on BN Sports as well. Unfortunately for me, because that's the only way I can watch the games is on BN Sports, of course, guys, via Todd. So basically, it is evident that a number of those pundits don't like Man United, and I don't think we should accommodate these people. I don't think we should. Would they accommodate these people at Real Madrid, at Barcelona, and things like that? They wouldn't, would they? At the end of the day, Brian. The atmosphere was amazing. United fans to watch FA Cup semi-final at Villa Park 2007. Oh, I remember that. Yes. But you know what? One thing, Brian, we've always had a good atmosphere at Villa Park. I mean, 1998, 99 was a fantastic atmosphere. Do you remember when we played Chelsea in 1995, 96? It was a fantastic atmosphere, wasn't it? Crystal Palace. Do you remember that? I think it was 94, 95. Fantastic atmosphere, wasn't it? When we played at Aston Villa. I mean, we have a very good record at Aston Villa, especially in semi-finals. We have an amazing record at Aston Villa, of course. A number of great games we played there, fantastic games we played at Villa Park, of course. And I remember them, you know. And I like playing at Villa Park. It isn't the biggest ground in the world. It isn't the biggest, but you know what? It is a fantastic atmosphere when Man United arrive on the semi-final day, of course, guys. Absolutely, yeah. You know what? Blazing. Mate, have you seen the impressive start from 70-year-old Danish player we got from Arsenal? He looks really first team. Obi Martin, absolutely. He's such a baller, absolutely. Obi Martin is very, very soon going to be in that Manchester United team. I'm thinking about at the moment, he might not make it this season. He might make it next season, although I won't be surprised if he reaches a squad. Polungi has, of course, reached the squad. He's only 16 years old. Kone is ready. Kone is an absolute monster. He's ready to walk into that team now, in my opinion. We do need another midfielder who will be fantastic. You know, Man United will be drifting more players, more youth tip players into that team. And you know what? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And you know what should happen? Ruben Amorim should go in that dressing room and tell every one of those players, you know what we've got? We've got a conveyor belt of young players coming through right now who are talented. I'm going to replace those players. I'm going to replace you with those players. I'm going to replace you with those players. Sir Alex Ferguson famously did it with the class of 92. He walked in the dressing room and said, I've got these young players. They're going to replace you. If you don't buck up your ideas, if you don't start playing for that badge, I'm going to replace you. That's how you should be. You should have that fear factor. You should have that fear factor, isn't it? At Man United, Man United should have that fear factor that my place is not guaranteed. Marcus Rashford is entitled. You know what I mean? Players like that, they're entitled. He's not the only one, but you know, he's the one that comes to my head. He's entitled. He feels like, you know what, he should be playing. I should be playing. I'm Marcus Rashford. I can walk around the pitch and still get picked. It shouldn't be like that anymore. Things need to change now, guys. Really need to change in regards to that. Because Manchester United are a cultural enterprise with a history better than any other football team in world football. You know, and as I've always said, people died for our great football club. You know, and at the end of the day, for these players to have a platform. You know what I mean? For these players to have a platform. You know what I mean? Not to go out and down tour against our rivals, against Arsenal and teams like that and Liverpool and get slapped up at Old Trafford against Liverpool. It was unheard of back in the day. Man United getting slapped up by Liverpool at Old Trafford. It was unheard of. Yes, we had the odd bad result at Anfield. We had the odd bad result. We lost 5 against Man City in the early 90s at the City ground back then. Main Road. And basically, look, at Old Trafford, it was a fortress. It was a fortress. You don't win at Old Trafford. We went 40 years without losing in Europe at Old Trafford, guys. 40 years without losing at Old Trafford in Europe. Mate, look at the teams we played in that time. Look at the teams we played in that time. Signore, look at the teams we played in that time. Everyone. 40 years. 40 years we went without losing at Old Trafford in Europe. Incredible, isn't it? Now it seems like we're like a free points for everyone. Free points for everyone. Come to Old Trafford where you get your free points. That's what it is, and that's what happens. And they do get 3 points, the big teams. You know what I mean? It's so few and far between now. Like, you know, losing to Arsenal used to be a rarity for me as well. Like, that's why I know every single game we lost against Arsenal in the 90s. I can count on one. I can tell you right now, every game in the 90s we lost to Arsenal. Right now. Since Alex Ferguson left, I couldn't tell you how many times we lost to Arsenal. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell you. I mean, I remember 95, we lost 1-0 to Arsenal at Highbury. Dennis Bergkamp, I remember that. I remember us losing 3-2 to Arsenal in 1997. David Platt, header from a corner. I remember that. I remember us losing 3-0 to Arsenal before the 98-99 season. But when we won the treble, of course, at Highbury as well. You know, I remember us losing in the Charity Shield 3-0 to Arsenal in the same season at Wembley. You know what I mean? I'm talking about Highbury here. Old Trafford, forget about it. Forget about it. We never lose to Old Trafford against Arsenal. We lost 1-0 to Old Trafford against Arsenal in 1998 over Mars. The first goal for Arsenal at Old Trafford. The first goal for Arsenal at Old Trafford. The first goal for Arsenal at Old Trafford, 1998. Marcus Rashford. Look at that. Mark Overmars scored that goal. The first goal at Old Trafford for Arsenal against Man United was in 1998 in the Premier League. In the Premier League. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like that's what I'm talking about. You know, we never used to lose to Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? We never used to do these roll over to these teams. The only time we lose to Arsenal is a rarity. We do sometimes. Of course, you lose sometimes, but in the 90s, that's not what we did. We didn't. We didn't lose those games. As I said, you can count. I can tell you right now the games we lost. Do you know what I mean? I mean, despite how intimidating it was, how loud I mean, let me tell you something about Highbury, right? I've been Highbury a number of times. Highbury was a very intimidating stadium, a very small stadium. Players like David Beckham couldn't do their long balls, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? Highbury was a very, very intimidating little small matchbox ground. You get to Highbury, you didn't even know you were there. It was that small. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And I mean, I've been to some great games at Highbury between Man United and that. But now we're rolling over against Arsenal. We seem to be rolling over like free candy. You know what I mean? Against Arsenal, against Liverpool, against Chelsea, against Man City. This needs to stop. This needs to stop. We need to remember who we are, guys. We need to remember who we are and where we came from. That's what we need to do. Nottingham Forest is a given tomorrow. Nottingham Forest is a given tomorrow. It's a win. It's a win. You didn't beat Arsenal. You got to beat Nottingham Forest. I'm sorry. It's got to be a win. Nothing less, nothing less. It's a win. And tomorrow, I'm expecting us to win comfortably as well. Because those players did not turn up for Ruben Amorim against Arsenal. They did not. And this time, they turned up for the new manager. And when it gets tough, of course. So I wonder, big up, Brian. Big up, Brian. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. And I'm not talking about boys zone here. Right? When the going gets tough, the tough get going, right? And at the end of the day, Man United, when the going gets tough, the weak get out of here. That's basically what it is. The weak get out of here. Man United need to pick it up, man. They need to pick it up. They need to be stronger. They need to be scary again. They need to be intimidating. And need to play for that badge. Most of all, play for that badge. And it starts tomorrow, guys. Manchester United against Nottingham Forest. I'll be doing a watch-along here, 5 o'clock p.m. I will be here, UK time, guys. And you know what? It's a must-win. And we have to win the game. I believe we will. I believe we will win the game. But that's not the end of it. Because we're expected to win those type of games. Just like we were expected to beat Bodo Glimt and Everton. We're expected to win those games. I remember in the 90s when Man United used to play Everton. It's like, Everton? You know what I mean? Coventry. I used to be like that. I didn't even used to check for the scores sometimes. I knew we were going to win. And at the end there, I used to be like, no, we're going to win the game. You know, man, it's Everton, bruv. It's Everton. You know what I mean? I used to be like that. You know what I mean? Nowadays, it's like, oh, goodness, can we get this? Hopefully, like, you know what I mean? They're a tough team sometimes, ain't they? You know what I mean? And that's what it's like at the moment with Man United. And we got to get away from that. You know what I mean? I mean, we had some good points against Arsenal, some good play. But you know what? As I liked what De Ligt said after the game, we're Manchester United, we shouldn't be happy with losing. We shouldn't be taking the positives out of losing. And he's absolutely spot on. Man United should never be getting the positives out of losing. You know what I mean? At the moment, we're clutching at straws. We're picking bits and bobs, bits and pieces of the game and saying, well, that was good, wasn't it? That was all right, wasn't it? That was good. You're playing for Manchester United, lads. Manchester United. The Busby Babes. The Munich disaster. George Best, 1968. Alex Ferguson. You're playing for Man United. Eric Cantona. David Beckham. Paul Scholes. Ryan Giggs. You're playing for these players. Brian Robson. You know, and that's who you're playing for. You are on the shoulders of giants. That's the only reason you can see. It's because those players back then gave you a platform for you to be earning your 350 grand a week, for you to be playing for the massive club, the big football club that is Manchester United. The reason that you're probably married to your missus, the reason that you probably have your kids is because of Manchester United, what they did in the past. The platform that they gave you, standing on the shoulders of giants, because that is what those players at Man United are doing right now. They're just standing on the shoulders, looking over the fence, thinking, oh, it looks a bit scary over there. Not anymore, guys. Not anymore. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolutely fantastic show. Thank you, everyone. Big up, Randy. When is it going to get tough? The tough get rough. That's the one. Absolutely, Randy. Never been my jam. Have a great day. Have a great afternoon. I'll be back later on for the match preview between Manchester United and Nottingham Forest at 2 p.m. UK time. Have a fabulous afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. And don't forget, keep it red, yeah? Manchester United all the way. Glory, glory, Man United. Come on, get in there. Take it easy, guys. Peace.